Hello, my name is Edgar Zamora, and I'm going to present to you about engaging our math students using Desmos. This is an in the know session that I did on March 16th, 2017. And I just think that Desmos is one of the coolest tools that we have as math educators today. So I guess we'd like to start with showing you what exactly is Desmos. Okay, so Desmos is many things. It is four different things to be concrete. Okay. So these are the main things that I would like for you to get out of watching this video. All right. Our big idea: students benefit from hands-on learning. All right. Students benefit when your learning is engaging, when learning is fun, when learning is relevant to them. All right. So the question we ask is, how can Desmos do this for me? How can I use Desmos to help my students? All right. Well, it's important that we become familiar with four different aspects of Desmos. All right. And simple: Desmos.com, teacher.desmos.com, student.desmos.com, and learn.desmos.com. Okay. So if you have never heard of Desmos, Desmos is simply a graphing calculator, but many more things, like we said in the previous slide. In summation, you could think of Desmos as a resource center. This is a resource center for you to engage your students. All right. You can think of it as a software where you can create lessons, and we're going to go through all of these things today. Okay. So we can start with a demonstration. Your students, you would get a code where you would tell your students, all right, guys, go to student.desmos.com and you type in this code. All right. So I will show you on your end of things how it would look. Okay. This particular investigation is a card sort. Okay. So you see what I have right here is I have 8 different students. This is an actual class of mine. 8 different students whose names I've anonymized. Okay. By the way, the anonymizing feature is a great feature to use during your class. So basically what you have here is a tool for formative assessment. Students are completing this 6-step investigation, exploration. They can complete it in pairs. They can complete it as a group. Some you might want to have them complete individually. Okay. So what we're doing right here is simply answering these questions that you can actually come up with, or questions that Desmos has already. A lot of these activities are already built. You can go in and edit them so they can suit your class. All right. But basically what happens is, as these students are answering, you, the teacher, you have all of these responses on your screen, a screen that you can keep up so that students are able to see it, a screen that you can have just for you to see whatever you want. You have statistics that show you what type of answers students are giving. Okay. You also have a status bar that tells you how far each student has gotten for each activity. All right. You have also an ability to check their answers. You can see how everybody's progress is right here. All right. You can see when students make mistakes so that you are able to quickly go and talk to the student. You're able to do this also out loud in front of the class due to the anonymize feature. All right. So I can say Catherine Johnson, who is, it's not the name of somebody in my class, but this student would know the name. You can say, Catherine, I would like for you to look at number 3 again, or ask Catherine a question, a thought-provoking question. All right. But basically, what their activity would look like is something like this. Okay. So they're looking right here to find a solution for systems. All right. This is what theirs would look like. And they have a little box to also explain their thinking. Right. So you can add graphs, you can add questions, you can add explanations, many different aspects to this activity that you can build for your students. All right. Here you ask the students to make a sketch where they find a solution at -1, 3. All right. And you, again, it's formative assessment. You are seeing all these responses live, whether it's a class of 8 like mine or a class of 30, as long as everyone is equipped with some sort of a Chromebook or tablet. So that's one type of thing that you could do. And also, if you see right here, I see my statistics. I see what each student has done, right? And whether or not they understand the intersection of two systems, of a system. The next thing that I want you to see, next I want us to reflect. Why is it beneficial for our students to do something like this? Okay. Well, it's beneficial because it gets the students talking about math. Vocabulary is extremely important in the math classroom. So, and here in a little bit, I'll show you a polygraph activity. It's incredibly important to enrich this vocabulary so we're all talking the same language, right? And thus we understand each other. And there isn't a different level of the teacher speaking and the student understanding. We're able to bridge that gap. Okay. Students also, they benefit from collaboration. They benefit from feedback. This feedback, you can keep it up on the screen and students can see other people's answers. Also, once they answer, they're provided with 2 or 3 sample responses that their peers, random peers from across the room may have given. All right. I like it because I think it invites us to a judgment-free zone. The anonymous name, I think, is a great feature, and it's just a great opportunity for learning to take place. Okay. Next thing, well, if you want to do something a little bit more fun, right? Again, you can create your own activities, but if you're looking for something a little more fun, you want to wow your students, there's another type of activity. And again, all these activities are searchable through teacher.desmos.com. Your students enter through students.desmos.com, and they enter the codes simply. Okay, so here's an example of what I see or what a student would see from an activity like this. All right. So let's marble slide. So it's called a marble slide. So here the objective is for you to build a graph that is good enough for you to be able to slide a marble and it hit all the stars. And as simple as it seems, I have seen my students really, really enjoy this, really take a liking to it. So it's definitely an activity that I recommend. You can see that they're faced with task after task, and you can actually create one of these. Again, any activity that you see here on Desmos, you can edit, you can make something of your own, something more applicable to your pacing, to your lesson. So I think it's a great idea, and here, for example, here in the second screen, students are asked, change one number. So we're talking transformations. Change one number so that your rational function works now for you to be able to slide this marble. At this point, it wouldn't work. It would only hit one of the stars. Right, so you want to try it again and again, and it's very, I guess, entertaining, but also thought-provoking for your students. You're able to see with this activity how many stars students get, whether or not they have hit all the stars. I'll go ahead, seeing that we're almost done with time for this first video. Stay tuned for part 2 of 2. That one of the cool features right here is your teacher pacing. Right. So you want this activity, you want your students to be engaged in this activity, right? And, for them to be sliding these marbles and, wowing themselves. But you also want to take the opportunity, perhaps this is your style, that you want to stop the class and you want to reflect together, maybe pause the activity. So there's a tool here, teacher pacing and pause the class. So I'm going to hit pause the class. And when I hit that, it says that your students are paused. Everyone's screen is gonna freeze. All right, it's gonna freeze their activity. They're no longer able to do this activity. What I find is my students immediately, they look up, right? And it's a good procedure to have. All of your students are engaged. They're ready to listen to you. All right, they perhaps are frustrated because they wanted to finish this activity, right? The other thing is, not only can you pause them, but also you can pace them. All right, you can decide what screen you want your students to be on. Say, all right, guys, now that we finish this, let's all go to screen number 7, and let's take and you hit restrict. And, now all of your students are on screen number 7 and they're thinking all on the same page. So all of these are features from the activities that you can find on teacher.desmos.com and that your students can find at students.desmos.com entering a code.